What is up, my friends? So, with the Oscars being announced, I wasn't going to make a video on this movie actually, and seeing that Adam Sandler basically got snubbed, I wanted to be like, let's go back to that movie, let's talk about this. So, Uncut Gems. I actually got the chance to see Uncut Gems on Christmas Eve, and let me tell you, mind-blowing. Very much an adrenaline pumped rush that you get watching this movie, and it doesn't let you breathe at all. Even in the quietest moments, it's still racing because there is so much tension in this movie with all the characters, even if it's something of a domestic dispute to even life or death situations, it's still that tense. So Uncut Gems, I think, definitely encapsulates one thing very well, and that's Diamonds Are Forever. And I'm not talking about the classic song, I'm talking about the Kanye West song, and the one that's pretty much the foundation of this video, as you can hear. But that song basically tells you how we are very much a society that is obsessed with these diamonds, these shiny rocks, all of that, and pretty much are just there for show. And in fact, if you go back into the history of them and look back where it came from, it is a very bloody, sad life that the people who mine these precious rocks, as we see them as precious, have to endure in order to make barely a living wage, and sometimes are not even making a wage, and that is the sad part of it all. Another very good movie to watch about this is also Blood Diamond with Leonardo DiCaprio. I highly recommend. But I think that the whole movie basically is showing this, especially with the beginning shot where we see the miners and with the pretty much like conditions they're working under and what they're sacrificing in order to make ends meet. And we find and go back to New York where it's pretty much just a show, a just whatever, like this is very much a pretty rock and I'm gonna be obsessed over it as Howie is, without knowing in fact very well what it took to get that rock and what it actually means to the people over there. So I thought that was a pretty interesting thing that the movie took and laid down for us, even though I don't think they very much went into it as much as they should have. I think a little bit more would have went a long way, but nonetheless they got the point across for me, and I hope for everybody else. Now, many people, I'm just going to go ahead and talk spoilers right now, because let's just talk spoilers because it's an ending explained. What the hell do you expect? But Howie pretty much dies at the end of this film, and I think that I was very much let down and sad about it. But when you think about it, Howie was not redeemable. He didn't have any redeemable qualities to him at all. Not with his wife, not with the loans he was taking, the money he was borrowing, or even with... He just kept pissing people off, even when things were going to be okay, and he had the money to be able to pay the debt he had and just go about his life. He still decided to pretty much risk it all and just like put that money and risk it all. And I mean, you gotta think about it logically here. We love Howie in the movie, but he just kept pissing that one guy off that shot him throughout the whole film, and you gotta think that this guy probably had enough, especially after seeing how Howie was gloating, all of that. It's just something that snapped inside of him. One thing, however, also to note is that Howie died happy in the end. You see him with the smile because he just won. He was smiling, and then bam, it just ended like that. And I think if Howie were to have kept alive, he would still be going down that dark path, because would he really have paid Arnold already, or would he try to capitalize off again on the sports bets? That's an interesting take right there. So this is a very, very bleak ending to the movie. Even though many of us from the trailer, from the beginning, knew nothing good was going to happen to Howie because the path he was on. So I think that the movie ended it the way we knew it was going to end, but we didn't want it to end that way because we sort of liked Howie. So I think that the ending really is just signifying that, hey, you know what? Even you might see it as karma, you might not see it as karma, but people pretty much gave their life for this diamond, and you're over here playing just with it, and you're just trying to use it for your own greed. So I think the ending is pretty good in the aspect of it showing how Howie, even with the diamond, without the diamond, it wasn't ever about that. It was more about his own ego and just like this addiction to betting that he had, and that addiction was finally put down by the goon who he kept messing with throughout the whole movie, because Howie seemed to think that everything revolved around him, and if things weren't going his way, then everything was wrong. But he stopped to think about everybody else around him, including his wife, his kids, even his mistress at a point. So I thought that that was a pretty interesting thing, is that Howie was finally put down from that. But anyways, what are your thoughts on the ending to Uncut Gems? As I said, I think it really signifies how, even though you think you're on top of the world and all of this, it just depends how you treat everybody around you, how you get treated back. And at the end of the day, how we got treated back by the guy, how he was treating him, and just had enough of him. So let me know your thoughts below. And man, Arnold did not have to die. I think Arnold could have just, like, I don't know, that was kind of sad when Arnold got shot, I gotta admit. But then again, I also think it goes back to him also surrounding himself with these goons and using them against Howie. And I mean, yeah, his money and everything, but as Howie said, their family, they could have just talked it out, and all of this could have been avoided. And I think that was one of the things in this movie also, is that there was no transparency between the characters at all. Now with Howie and his wife, now with Howie and his mistress, Howie and KG, it was just very much all like, So that transparency led to the events that led to Howie's death, I think, is that there was no trust. There was no, I don't know what you're doing, and I'm kind of scared about that. So just my thoughts on the movie, but just rambled on. I do think Adam Sandler got snubbed. Should have at least been nominated. Maybe he wasn't going to win, because I think that's going to go to Joaquin. But a nomination would have been nice, I think. Anyways, as always, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting? Hit that like, comment, share, all that good stuff. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. We are so close to 9,000. Let's try to hit that before the end of the month. And go follow me on Anchor if you want to know more about music, all of that. I talk about albums there and album news. I'll also be uploading videos here. But anyways, Servant is tomorrow. Let's tune into my Servant theory video that should be up now. So go to my channel and look it up. And as always, I'll see you next time. Stay positive.